very bright. All right, here we are live on YouTube. And good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Let's see. I'm going to go to viewing gallery so I can see everybody who's up here. And I can put my camera on too. Since I got this newer computer, I don't have to worry so much about it cutting me out when I have the video on, which is really good. Really helpful. All right. So let us open up our book. And last time that I have recordings of us, and I don't even know what was going on, but we had just read When Reason Came In, and we are to this point, I believe, here, chapter 6, Only Love Is. And so we can do as we normally have been doing is someone just will play love and the other one will play the soul. And I don't think there's any other characters in this chapter. So who would like to be love? Nanette, yes, please.
Sure.
And who would like to be soul?
I'm willing to be soul.
Oh, good. Go, Deb. All righty. All right. Love, you're up.
Okay. All right. I pray your heart was not discouraged by the play you just witnessed, dear soul. Reason has been your friend longer than you know, and it does not want your friendship to end. That is why it's fighting so hard for you to return to its world. But the fire within you is beginning to grow, and as it changes from a glowing ember to a burning inferno, many ghosts will rise to distract you, drawing you away from the simplicity of my message. All I ask is that you hold to your desire to dissolve until even that has dissolved. Then every other voice that might have distracted you from me will be stilled, and you will hear your own voice speaking through and as me.
It's hard for me to imagine such a thing, to speak through and as love itself. It's true that I feel the fire building within me, but I can still hear the echo of reason's words. Can you suggest anything that will help quiet its voice?
Ah, dear soul, yes. You are trembling at the edge of a deathless life. And reason, though it wore a noble crown, was never meant to follow you here. It served its purpose in your early journey, measuring, comparing, guiding you through forests of virtue and valleys of sin. But it cannot fathom a love that has no opposite, a goodness that cannot be earned. Let me offer you this. Do nothing, desire nothing. Be still and let yourself be undone.
To do nothing feels like a betrayal of all I've been taught. Isn't that sloth? Isn't that death?
Yes and yes, but not the kind reason fears, not the sloth of indifference, but the rest of surrender, not the death of the body, but the blessed annihilation of the self that sought to preserve itself through effort. This is the annihilated self, a soul no longer seeking, no longer striving, no longer dividing the world between God and not God. For all it sees is me. You ask for something to quiet reason's call. Just unhook the latch from the door and let it cry from the threshold if it must. But don't go to it. Don't argue or explain. Simply remain where you are, bare, poor, empty of you. That is enough.
But isn't it prideful to claim that I could be love, that I could speak as you?
Ah, precious one, that is the last trick of reason, false humility. You do not become love. You are undone into it. The you who fears pride, who fears blasphemy, who fears losing its goodness, that you must melt like snow in spring. When nothing is left to protect, love alone remains. And then I, who has hidden behind every veil you ever lifted, will begin to speak, not with your lips, but with your silence, not with your effort, but through your rest.
So there's no ladder left to climb, no virtue too perfect, no vow to keep.
None. Only this. Fall. Fall endlessly into me. Even this conversation will one day cease. But do not be afraid. I do not live in words or even in thoughts about me. I live in your knowing. I dwell where all ladders end, where the eye falls asleep and never wakes again. And in that sleep, the truth in you will awaken.
Then I will fall, not because I understand, not because I trust myself to know what falling means, but because somehow, even now, I feel you beneath me. You are not a hand reaching down from above. You are the soft ground beneath my fear. You are the mercy into which I land when I let go. Still, love, even as I say this, something trembles in me, a question, a doubt, a whisper saying, what if I disappear? What if I fall into nothing and find no one there?
Yeah, let's just stop for a minute. This is so beautiful. And I'm loving so much reading and hearing this. Um, do you feel this? Is this a common experience that we have? That there is this knowing that we can just let go. And if we could just let go, that we would just fall into grace, into love. But that whole idea of letting go, I know I personally, I hold on very tightly to my personal self. And, I can actually feel it. If I'm a lot of times when I'm meditating, I feel it. I feel myself holding myself together. And so just this idea, has anybody have any thoughts or experiences of what this means to just let go and just let love be what we are? Anybody have any thoughts they'd like to share?
I can share.
Please, thank you.
Good to be here, family. I missed you. Um, this resonates so deep. It just brings tears. There was an experience, and it's important not to build fences or any kind of altars around experiences, but it changed my entire everything, reorganized I can't explain it. But it was, and when I started reading this book, I could never really put into words or experience what exactly happened. It was 7 days that this, and time kind of collapsed in between that. But when I started reading this book, I was so grateful because it actually began to put into some type of words, if it's even possible, but at least an echo of something that would have described in a very light way. Everything disappeared except love. And I was melting into everything. And there was like no Nan, just love. And at one point there was like just like something coming through, or I was being communicated to, but I couldn't there was no me communicating back. It was just coming through. And at one point in this experience I had, and this would probably be the only thing that I could make anything there could be anything tangible about it, or the what occurred. There was a huge storm in the area where I'd lived, and I walked outside, and there was garbage everywhere because all the wind blew garbage all over the streets. And this happening, or this melting, it just, this love itself, the garbage was glowing. Everything, it just everything, but it was me kissing me back. Love was behind like everything. Um, I believe that James, he didn't write this. There was spirit writing through. So I can very much identify. But when that kind of ended, I went into there was an undoing, very intense undoing. This was in 2007, very intense in June, very intense undoing process that lasted for quite some time and still. But this, this is not solid, although it appears solid. And there was an experience that just, there's this love is calling, God is calling us. It's just like there's a, we're being we're being breathed in it. We're engulfed in it. And there was that experience that there was no Nan. And then I seemed to there was a reorganization, and then a gentle experience of the body again, but it was gentle. And then there was an instruction by Holy Spirit that there was a lot of you know what that was going to get undone. So maybe that means something to somebody or maybe nothing. That's the best I could do.
Thank you, Nan. Beautiful, beautiful sharing. And yes, that absolutely resonated with me as well. Just experiences that I've had, and I'm not going to go into any depth, but just of being in the knowing that I am just loved. And sometimes out of just nowhere, I just will just say, I am just so happy. No reason. Just it comes to me. I am just so happy. And that to me is just no longer having any thought or care about any happenstance and just being here in this now place where happiness is the only thing that is. Anyway, thank you, Nan, so much for that. Anybody else have anything?
Hey, Lynn, Lynn, I just wanted to say really quick, just you saying you were so happy made me so happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Rafi has his hand up. Yes, Rafi.
Yeah, what happened was when I was going through this, I brought up the fear of dying. This body is real and it's going to die, even though I know it's an illusion. That fear came up, so I was able to welcome that wanting survival feeling and let it go. And then I looked at the other side. He goes, so cute. Then I looked at the other side and said, well, what if I do die? If I do die, that means I can't catch any diseases. I can't grow old. I can't. And that brought up even more fear of dying. So I was able to bring up that wanting survival and let it go. Well, I let go of all of those non-loving feelings, and I got really quiet. And you can hear the laughter and the joy in me that it triggered, because that's what's real. So I mean, you want to talk about welcome your triggers? Woo! Here we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Yes. Yes. These things are, honestly, if you were never given these things that seem to be the opposite of love, you would just not recognize how much you are in love or how much love is in you. When we see these things that seem to be triggering opposites, recognize that, the only purpose that they're showing up is to point out to you how wonderful everything actually is. uh, all right. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Thank you for that, Rafi. Thank you for that, Ed. I love you guys. All right, Nan, you want to continue with love? I love the way you're reading this, both of you. It's so beautiful.
Ah, precious echo. That whisper is the last veil, the fear of the holy nothing. But listen well. When you fall into nothing, you fall into everything. When you disappear, it is only the false you that vanishes. The mask, the striving, the one who thought it needed to become worthy. You will not be lost. You will become what you have always been, a flame that forgot it was fire.
Then let the veil burn. Let the mask fall. I will not gather it up again. I feel it now. Not the peace the world promised, but a holy silence, a deep loosening of my grip on all things, even on you, especially on you. I don't need to reach for you anymore, do I?
No, beloved. I am your reaching. I am your falling. I am the stillness at the center of your undone self. And now I no longer need to speak through riddles because the one who needed answers is no longer asking. You have entered the fire, not to be consumed, but to become the very flame itself. Would you like me to show you how this union lives in the world? How the awakened soul walks among people without losing its emptiness?
Yes, I would like that.
Then let me show you quietly how the awakened soul walks the world. Not as a teacher, not as a saint, not even as a servant, though at times it may wear those robes. It walks without any name because it no longer needs one. When the awakened soul enters a room, it does not try to shine. It has no self to polish. Yet light floods it. When it speaks, it does not weigh its words. Yet its silence speaks louder than sermons. It does not seek to comfort, but people feel comforted. It does not seek to guide, but others begin to see clearly. Why? Because the soul no longer casts a shadow. It does not block the light. It is the light, only because it does not try to be anything.
Then this soul, it acts, but without acting, loves without choosing to love.
Yes, it lives by an unselfed impulse, like wind that doesn't know where it's going, yet sings through the trees. It no longer asks, is this right? Or will this help? It simply flows. It pours. And even if it seems strange or foolish to the world, it does not care, for it has already died to the world. And now only love remains.
What of its place in the church or the world of prayer and liturgy? Does it still kneel? Does it still speak sacred words?
Sometimes it kneels, sometimes it sings, but not out of duty or habit. It bows because the heart bows. It sings because silence has grown too full to contain. The awakened soul might stand in a cathedral or in a marketplace, but it no longer sees a difference. All is holy, even the beggar's breath, even the cry of the condemned, even the cracking of old stone. No longer seeking heaven, it finds heaven everywhere.
Then the world is no longer my obstacle.
The world was never your obstacle, beloved. It was only the mirror in which you saw yourself. And now the mirror has been cracked, and what shines through is not a reflection. It is me.
Then let the veil remain torn. Let the breath pass gently through me unclaimed. Let me walk the world with no name, blessing each thing simply by being nothing. To the frightened heart, I offer no answer, only presence. To the angry one, I offer no argument, only stillness. To the lost, I do not point away, for I have no path left to follow. And yet I am the way because I resist none. Let my hands move only when the wind moves them. Let my words fall like rain, not to persuade, but to soften the soil. I will not build temples, but I will sit where the forgotten ones gather, and the silence between us will be sanctuary enough. I bless the priest and the prisoner, the chanting monk and the weeping drunk. I no longer see the difference. I have nothing to defend, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And so everything flows through me like a river returning to the sea. I am that river. I am that sea. This is the blessing I now offer the world. I am no longer here. And because I'm not here, only love is.
All right, thank you guys. So before we move on to chapter 7, what do you think?
Well, I think it's really beautiful. And just like you were saying, and we've all had experiences of, it's like when I first started learning to meditate, that one of the meditation teachers was like saying it's that time when you forgot time, even as a kid, I can remember being immersed. I loved to do art when I was in middle school and being so immersed in a project, you'd look up and 5 hours had gone by and you didn't even notice it. And to me, it's that emptiness of the egoic self that allows something so supreme to come through, this love, this, it's so beautiful. And in general, there hasn't been words for it. In the earlier part where it was talking about being afraid to let go, afraid to fall, like what will happen to me, I can feel that reason pulling me back. You know what I mean? That pull back. And yet the more willingness to let the fall and the let go in that quiet, it's like a trust builds, a security builds. There's no way you'll ever fall off. It's I don't know, it's just such a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful book. It's written incredibly beautiful. And I think I think it's a Rumi sentence that says, shatter me until there's nothing left but love. And I'm no longer here. And because I'm not here, only love is. Beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful, very beautiful. And it actually reminds me of a song from the maybe 70s, 80s, uh, where a man is singing and he's saying, my friends are telling me that, all you're trying to do is use me. But if I'm going to spread the news, if it feels this good getting used, you can just use me until you use me up. And that's how I feel about the Holy Spirit in this whole situation is you can use me until you use me up, because there is nothing here that has any meaning other than my journey with the Christ. And so this is what happens. You become no longer that person. Not that you're still, I'm still Lynn. Everybody knows me and my family and all that business, but I'm not caught up in the world like that anymore. Not like I was. Um, and I'm not saying I'm completely released from the world because I still do get caught up in things, but very quickly move out of that. As soon as, something, seems to be getting serious, it doesn't take a minute, a second before I can recognize I could see peace instead of this. And isn't this what we're doing this whole course? Is to become this peaceful being that is no longer living in fear, but is walking in trust. And I appreciate so much that we have these wonderful tools that bring us to that. And I was going to say, Nan has posted, let me go back to the chatter. She says a 15-minute meditation. And I'm wondering if you guys would like to do this meditation before we move on to the next chapter. Because I'm curious now. And
It brings everything together. Like if you're familiar with Dan Schmidt and Lilla, I think, yeah, it's just, I did it this morning and it was so funny because what we just read, it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
that is amazing.
Yeah, it's only 15 minutes. It sounds wonderful.
All right, let me get this. And wait, I have to do something with the share because I've got, hey, Karen, I didn't see you coming. I have to put the sound.
This be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it. All right.
I have I have one question though. Is it, do we invite in the Holy Spirit? Is it under the premise of inviting in the Holy Spirit?
What is there anything that's not?
Well, I like to actively do it. So if it's not, I don't like to just take things on granted, like, because yeah, I guess there's some practices that don't honor calling in the Holy Spirit. So
Well,
that's,
what does that have to do with you? What you do has nothing to
okay.
do with what you do. It has nothing to do with what I do. I'm the one who decides if I'm calling in the Holy Spirit or not. And whatever they
Oh,
could say, I'm going to read you a paragraph from the news. And
okay.
I'm the one who says I'm calling in the Holy Spirit here. So yes,
Oh,
call in
thank
the
you.
Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Lynn. That's kind of a different way of looking at it. So thank you.
Yeah. You do it because who else is going to? All right. Well, let me go. Is
I
this
am.
I am. Am
I
I? I am. Am I?
the
I
I Am
am.
Project. That's what this is called. The I Am Project. Interesting. Yeah, we call the Holy Spirit in for everything. All right, here we go.
You don't need to prove anything anymore. Not to them. Not to the world. Not even to yourself. You don't need to dress up your truth in acceptable clothing. You don't need to sound wise or be interesting or seem like you figured it all out. There's no one left to impress. Because the one who needed to impress is gone. You used to sculpt yourself like a statue, shaping your voice, your body, your words into something that would be liked. But the hands have dropped. The tools are resting. Because the one behind the mask never needed to be admired. It just needed to be free. There is such peace in not needing to be special. Such joy in being utterly ordinary. When the performance ends, the heart begins. And suddenly, even your so-called flaws become sacred. Even your awkwardness becomes holy. Even your silence speaks volumes. You don't have to shine. You are the light. You don't have to be confident. You are the ground. You don't have to impress. Because no one is watching. Only the self. recognizing itself behind every pair of eyes. When you walk into a room, you no longer ask, "Do they like me?" You ask, "Am I true?" When you speak, you are not hoping to be heard. You are listening as the words arise from a deeper well. When you rest, you are not recovering from performance. You are returning to your natural state. No more angles. No more pretending. No more sparkle-coated striving. Just the sweet, quiet radiance of one who has nothing to prove and everything to be. Let the applause fall silent. Let the masks gather dust. Let the audience vanish. And in that emptiness, you'll find presence smiling. Because when there is no one left to impress, there is finally room for you. The real you. The one behind the one. The freedom beyond all performance. And oh, what a joy to simply be.
Thank you. That was stunning. And yeah, that's just what we read. And to me, that's exactly what we read in Jimmy's book.
I don't know what we read or what we said, but Nanette, thank you, because that sure spoke to me. Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you, Nan, for bringing that to us. I just felt it. I experienced all of it. It's just,
Yes, loved it.
Me too. I loved it. Thank you.
The quiet is so serenely quiet, and the enormity of it. Wow.
well, if you were here, the link to that is in the chat. That's where I got it from. And that is something I do love to sit with people and meditate like that. So
Yeah, that's nice. Actually, nice. It's like one of those beyond words. I can't tell you what it is. All I can tell you is, as close as I can get, is it spoke to me deeply. Anything short of that, I'll be shortchanging it. It just spoke to me deeply.
Mm. Our minds are joined, and that's a beautiful way to share.
absolutely. All right, guys, I don't really have anything else to say. That just kind of has
Nothing else to say after that. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to. My people pleasing, ex people pleasing skills, maybe not say it, but I was going to say the only thing that could have made that better for me would be about 10 to 15 more minutes of total silence and just ride off into the sunset. Yeah. Which
Mm.
I will do in the morning. Thank you, Nat.
yeah, and that actually that website too, that I think I'm subscribed to that. They have other things as well that are beautiful meditation. So yeah, check them out. Subscribe to them, like and subscribe, just like you do to us.
It ain't about saying, it ain't about doing, it's about being.
Yeah.
All about that being
Love.
in love. Yep. Well, it's been a beautiful Thursday and loving the thankful Thursday. Again, tomorrow morning, Karen and McKaylee will not be here. So I'll probably play some recordings or something until time for Carrie. So because tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah. Okay. I have to remember.
You and Gloria at 11:30.
Yes. So yeah, and Gloria and I are on at 11:30 for the Joel Goldsmith.
Joel Goldsmith, yeah.
Yeah, and that has
So
been
happy to see you, Nanette. All of you, but I missed Nanette. I haven't seen her for a while.
Well, that's not her fault. You know I love you, Deb. Hey, Deb, if you see Karen P, tell her I love her, because her photograph never talks to me. So
but
She's sort of superimposed on herself right now.
yeah,
in my
yeah, she was
that's
popping
what
in
made
and
me
out.
think of that. I said, "Oh, I see Karen. Oh man,
It's a great
live and in
picture.
color."
Yeah.
Picture in a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, you know
Oh.
what? It's just a picture and it's not even really Karen. She's not even really there.
Nobody is.
We're just here playing a part and pretending right here, right now. So, and
Conduits. Divine conduits.
that's it, divine conduits. There's the
Hey,
image of
Liz.
Elizabeth right there. Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, Elizabeth,
All
good to
right.
see you.
Thank you. Good to see you all. What perfect timing tonight.
Yeah.
Ego was having a little fit, and I went over and decided to get onto the gather for this session. And I'm so glad I did. And not wait to get it on the replay, which a couple times lately it's been this, I will, I won't, and all of a sudden the internet will go off. And that was the most beautiful, soothing. I already put it into the YouTube list. And so really, I think we all felt, especially as a container, how freeing that is. So totally grateful for every time we're together. And by the way, many a times, if I miss it, I usually catch many sessions on YouTube.
Mm.
So just know that's what I keep getting with the course. The minds are joined. Whether bodies get together or not is not important. What needs to be recognized is where minds are joined, no matter where we think, especially when we're loving that truth, it's healing and it's connecting. And yes, we love this coming together, but there's times where that, just as we were in the the meditation, we're not going to see faces, personalities, what anybody's wearing, what age we are. And I know I had one experience in my time where I was sort of lifted out, and I came back, I'll say, through the sky, crying with joy. And then I said, why'd you leave me here? And I had such an overwhelming feeling of a oneness I had never had before. I keep pointing up there, and it was the clearest, cleanest. I mean, even to call it love,
Yeah.
it's the most freeing, most enlivening thing. And I heard it would break the container. And eventually I came to the Course in Miracles, and there's some part of the mind that agreed to separation is the container. And yet it's still part of all that. So we haven't lost it. It's just like got its tight little grip. And being able to awaken to at least see it for what it is part of that first step. And then how many steps we don't know, but it's guaranteeing us, it's assured, because it was over in an instant. So every instant, especially with that right now, like I said, I've already queued it up to play it again tonight. I know that we'll all be there in whatever container is reaching the one mind. I'm just so grateful. And whoever was reading tonight, I wasn't familiar with the names, the soothing voice. Perfect. I don't know if it was Nanette or the two that were reading the passages. And I do have that on Kindle. So I'd like to have your voices on that Kindle for me, but I can find it here. So to all, thank you. And for every time anyone does show up,
Thank you,
it does
Liz.
take courage. Thank you.
Those are my sisters from another mister.
That was Nan and Deb.
Man to
Nan
dead.
and Deb were
My
the
two
readers.
hot throbs.
Yeah. God, I'm telling you what, this is so amazing to me. I just, every single day of my life, I am like treated to the cavalcade of spirit here in this ACIM gather. And I know that there are a lot of other teachers out there, and I know y'all go and listen to them and talk to them and everything. And they have thousands of people that that log in and listen to them and talk to them. And uh, I'm telling you, this group here, this core group of united souls here we are nested in a place of safety and of love. And every single one of us is a loved and cherished part of this community. And, I'm not saying that, if you join those thousands of other people in some other guy's community, that you're not loved and cherished. But I shouldn't be making comparisons here, but you are loved here. You are loved here. I am loved here. This is the most joyful place that I could ever think to be. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you who joins with me here. You're sent by the Holy Spirit and given to me at my request, because I really did want to have a spiritual family that I loved and who loved me back. So you all are the ones. Yeah, Karen, please.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Lynn. I was so relaxed. I was laying here listening, and I was so relaxed that I literally fell asleep. And whatever was being lastly read, I don't know what it was. I woke up as soon as it was over, and I woke up with such a peace. So it must have been in my subconscious. I don't know what it was, what you guys read, but I got the link, and I will definitely listen to it before I go to sleep. But I woke up with, I mean, let me tell you something, because I haven't been at that kind of a peace in a while. And it was and is beautiful. So I'm very grateful, and I feel all the gratitude in the world right now. So thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, Karen.
God bless you, Karen.
I love her so much.
See what happens when you hang out with people like us?
Yeah. Yeah, the love is, wow, so amazing.
To
All right.
Karen, a real quick,
Yes.
everybody's maybe, we don't know where anybody's at in any situation specifically. And we each have an understanding that the ego likes to disrupt things when you have it a little calm for a while. And there can be other things we're tuned into, and I'm on some different groups of different sorts myself. And as I was listening, I really feel that there is such an individual and collective, really deep psychic cleansing going on, that the littlest thing, like we've had roofing going on where I am right now. And some days I was fine with it. This morning it was just like, oh, and then last night where I rent here at this place, we still have some undeveloped land around. Somebody sent around from the office that there was a bobcat sighting to watch out, especially if you're walking at night with dogs and thing. And they showed a picture near one of our patios. And all of a sudden the fear thing came in. And, and yet I know, I'll be guided to go out when I want to, and it's not. But again, it was the whole idea when I look at the lessons the Course says, that this world was made as an attack on creation. The ego's plan was vengeance, and it makes objects and things. The guilt is so inherent in the mind of the healing. So we take it lightly, but we also have to take it quite, it's our assignment to see that it gets undone in our minds. And these things truly are neutral, but the way the mind has, the best way you even understand it, it says it does not have anybody's best interest at heart. And so, I respect too, say when the Holy Spirit, I try to remind myself every morning, I don't know. As long as I'm still here, and and at times like when we come together, what we say in person, it does feel like a soothing balm. And so I look to honor both, it's the mind, but there are times where we just got to kind of come together and hug each other. And sometimes somebody has a perfect thing to lighten it up or just now be so soothing. And some of these things used to, not bother me, but when I look at it, I was reading Ken Wapnick's, it's called 2 + 2 = 5. And when I was lifted out one time, when I was brought back down, I'll say through the sky, I wasn't dropped. I was on a beach. I won't go into too much, but it was like amazing. And I was reading about even the law of gravity is made up. And I know where I went, there was no gravity. But while we're here, it's darn real. Don't go jumping off a cliff without a parachute. But I knew it wasn't. And I think that's this real balance of this mind believes that it made concrete, and there's no concrete in truth. So there's a real something to, I think, even our gatherings and each part can help someone at some point, no matter what situation, because this world was meant to be one problem after another, so we can clear the mind and let the real world, shine through. They say, you have to go through the clouds to get to the light. And these are the clouds of guilt in the mind, it says. And every second and every day it says, boom, it's done. So thank you again. And we'll have to say, don't run from the fear, but now we have to stare at it so we can, with the Holy Spirit, help me see through this. Because this is another thing coming up to be cleared. And so, again, like just even, we say just, this perfect meditation, and they had to have a link. I'm just so grateful for this today. It's like such a jewel. And I'm going to look to play it again before I go tonight. And if I start to feel uneasy, it soothed my soul so much. So again, it's like count those grateful silver linings.
Absolutely.
So again, just another appreciation.
We're grateful that you're grateful. So we're all grateful. So you got a house full of gratitude and a house full of love. How can you go wrong?
You got it. All right, you guys. I love you all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night. And
Blessings on your head.
blessings, blessings, blessings.
In our hearts.
Love us so much. Big hugs.
Hugs.
Big hugs.